anything, actually. I'm gonna try and use this today and see what else I need to put on it. It's a cart with a battery and 3 gallons of soapy water right above it. That's smart. Let's see if we can maybe level that a little bit more. But I got that too. Is it this button? We gotta wait. No, it's this one. So this is the cart button. Yes. And then this is the other button. I like that. That's cool. We'll use it 3 times at least. So let's get chat. Activate. And then activate source. This isn't even gonna work. They're gonna make me do this and they're gonna say, nope, unable. So we're gonna stop, we're gonna activate, and we're gonna look. Hey, nice. What's up, guys? Sound. Let's put it back there. And now everything should work. What brand tints do you still use? Geo? Yes. Mr. Clean, how you doing? We have a Rav4. We're doing front doors and the windshield. 15 on the front doors and 35 on the windshield. Should be fun. And I put together a little cart because I could. There's these have been around for a while at this point, those battery banks. But there's been some newer ones. Prices have come down. So if you're mobile and want to run a heat gun out in the wild, people are getting generators and other things. It's nice to know that that's actually a really legitimate option. So I want to use it during this car. I'm going to try and force myself to use most of the stuff that's on the cart as I grab a towel from our battery box there. That makes sense. Is GeoShield easier to install than cheap? There's things that can make some of their films a little bit easier to work with. It's primarily going to be shrinking. How long does it last? Lifetime warranty, so don't worry about it failing. But if it does, they have you covered. I used to use a cart years ago when I did more mobile stuff. This is not as big of a cart as I would personally get, but I've been trying to set this thing up. So we'll get our cord untangled and we'll go from there. There we go. Even though I've got nice pretty reels, we're gonna do this today. More coming in hot. Right off the bat. Oh, I know it. Like it's one of those classic, like a company doesn't really realize it's like poking a beehive. It's like, just get over it. Something happened to my YouTube? What happened? All right, let's find a 15%. There it is. I knew I had it. 79 Chevy. Ooh, any tips? Actually, gel along the edges are gonna help a lot with that kind of stuff for sure. Views dropped. That's always a that's always a tough one. Views happen for a number of magical reasons, and sometimes it can be a YouTube thing. You just never know. I like to think it's mostly just the stuff that you're making, and it's not really a lever on the back end, but there's times that they feature certain things. So they were featuring like live streams for a while, and then they stopped doing it, and I saw views go up, and I saw views come back down. So who knows? I ordered gel. Unfortunately, it won't come in time for this one. Damn shipping. In the last 4 days, I've had 2 clients reschedule. What do you think about what do you think about deposits? We do deposits. Deposits have helped a ton with that. And you can set them up however you want. We're using the cart today. We started the chat so everyone can hear it on YouTube. Wait, what? Can you explain a little bit more? I'm not sure. But yeah, we do deposits. We've been doing deposits since 2020. I've worked for a number of shops. The majority of them did not do deposits. But some of these places have just been in business for a long time, but I'd experienced that everywhere. What happens is your average person might just schedule an appointment at like multiple shops. Or they schedule with you first, and then they don't stop calling, and then it's just like, oh, hey, I found a better deal, or I knew another guy. We had a situation yesterday. Somebody called in the morning. Hey, can I bring it in? Sure. And I'm like, just watch, he's not gonna come in. He's like, I'll be there in 20 minutes. All right, sounds good. And then we get a text message like 10 minutes later saying, oh, my check engine light came on. I'm gonna have to bail, I'm sorry. I don't know. A lot of times, if there isn't some type of a commitment from a client, so it depends on how long you've been in business, where you're in business, where your pricing's at. There's a number of little things that kind of play into this, but on average, I'd say your average tint shop, if you don't get a commitment from your customer with like an actual, I am coming here with money, then you don't know if they're really gonna come in or not. Especially for younger tint businesses. We're gonna pull this down. But that's not like a definite rule. It can definitely happen. Certain places, certain income brackets. It's not unheard of. Why didn't you cover the whole window? This is a separate window, so we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna kick and scream the whole way. Not the check engine light. I'll be honest, it's the first time I've ever heard somebody say, oh, the check engine light came on the way. But I didn't have anything yesterday. So somebody called in the morning. Hey, is there any way I could get in today? Yep, we could do it. I swear, anytime that happens, don't show up. They never do. It's funny. When somebody makes an appointment for somebody else. Yep. There's always like a number of excuses for that kind of stuff. A lot of times you just don't hear from them again.
She's adding on.
She's adding on?
Yeah.
So,
I guess the appointment initially was for everything but the back window.
correct.
So that's what she wants to do, but she wants to do 35 on top of that.
Okay. So, the whole back?
Everything but the, yeah, if it's still the same 470 quarter.
Oh, I think that was all the sides, no back glass. So all the sides and windshield, no back glass. Okay.
Yep, no background.
Okay. Just all the quarter windows.
Yeah, it's,
The 500 quarter windows that they put on this thing. Go figure.
do you want me to plot them for you?
Yeah, actually.
This is what having a plotters now.
I did. The student pulled in a matrix. I did a job almost 3 weeks ago, and he still hasn't paid. His excuse was my truck bed wheel were creating sparks, and I got pulled over. If you let anybody go without paying, you're not getting paid. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to not get paid when you give the keys back. If somebody's like, oh man, I'm sure, can I do it tomorrow? You're not getting paid. Also, don't accept checks from customers. That's a big red flag. I recently bought a workhorse plotter. Was that a good decision? I hope so. Is that confidence inspiring? No, workhorse machines are good. I used one for a while. It also doesn't make sense. What business ever lets anybody leave without any type of payment? I don't get to go in a Best Buy and walk out with a TV and say, I'll pay you tomorrow. Yeah, but that's still some type of payment. Like Best Buy got paid, and now it's up to the finance terms. He sent it on Apple Pay, and I left. After I left, I found out that my Apple Pay wasn't working, so it was totally my fault. Oh, that's a weird one. So totally my fault. That was your fault. That was definitely your fault on that one. What's your advice on window? See, we did it already. We took it off the tray and we put it here. It needs to go back on the tray. Is thicker tint easier to work with? No, not necessarily. But now we're doing front doors and all the rear. So things have changed a little bit. Or most of the rear. We're like a reverse full vehicle with a windshield. What do you hand cut when you have a plotter? Well, it depends on how much I'm doing and what mood I'm in. And also, I just like the cut that I get on the doors a lot of times better. But it's been working. The plotter's been working really well with core, so we use it. We still use it a lot. How often do you change your blade? Very often. So every few cuts, I snap off a blade. So we're getting this ready for shrinking. Maybe we should just start with what we've been doing. Let's continue with just the windshield. Usually run with 24 and 40. Usually run with 40s. Oh, I've been using 2 sizes forever. 2 sizes is great. Because you have like instances like this. So a 20, you could split a 20 or a 40 in half and cover this okay. I typically do 36 and 24. But I would suggest going with 24s, like 40s and 24s, because there's just so many trucks and SUVs. Yes, we got power. Oh, and I put it sideways. Now I'm fucked. See? We get distracted for a few seconds and then we screw it up. Hopefully I didn't just wreck it. Hopefully it's still nice and even. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. So I took the roll, I flipped it sideways. This is kind of what we were talking about a little bit ago. With the 24s and 36s and all that. So I use 36s and 24s, which on this one, I don't think I'd be able to cut a 24 or a 36 in half and get each side. So I flipped the roll sideways for this one. All right, since we're on this side, let's stay on this side. Let's cover some door panels. Start there. Some key things to know. I'm starting a mobile business. How to tint.
Not required though.
I don't know. I'm still iffy on mobile. I know there's a lot of guys that do it. I think one of the best ways to run a mobile is going to different companies. That doesn't need to be tint companies, but doing everything outside or from house to house is a complete grind. From setup to finding where to tint it, it's just a lot of things to solve for. But if you go to like another shop, like I said, not necessarily a tint shop, like an auto accessory shop or glass shop or whatever, that can work out really well. Okay. We need to figure out this situation. But I got that. I got my gel. Let's go. This is regular Toyota glass? Yes, it is. Is Tint X good to shrink? No, not really. It's shrinkable. It's just not easy to work with. Installing's okay. It's just if you want to learn how to do back windows and windshields, no, it's not super user-friendly. There's a couple Toyota glasses. The UVU coating. It's on the inside. I use Tint X, they're now UV run and it's worse. Yeah, they're switching their brand again. I've heard it's not because the film went bad, but yeah, it's not good that they are. Build up a brand and then switch. What film is good to shrink? I mean, the one that we're using right now is really good to shrink. This is Geo's C2 ceramic. For practice, there's just an inexpensive dyed film. The problem is there's so many inexpensive carbon films, and those are not very user friendly. But they sell, so they keep making them. So what happens is newer guys pick them up, wanting to learn, and it's just you're giving yourself a harder time. I get you don't want to spend more money than you have to on throwing film out, but like if you just get an inexpensive dyed film, a lot of them shrink very well. I have multiple people come back saying the film as a whole failed. Which one? Tint X? It's soapy water. We glues on the tint. So soapy water gets our film to slide around and stick into place. And then the soapy water dries out, and then the adhesive doesn't disappear. Like if you spray a piece of tape and you let it dry, the adhesive is still there. It'll still work. It just doesn't really work when it's wet. All right. Wow, what a bad place to put my heat gun. So sometimes I get windows that slide around a lot, and sometimes they stick. Today, we are sliding quite a bit. So heat up the corners. I would rather have the film more slidey than sticky, that's for sure. But we want to make sure that it's not going to slide when we go to roll the window up. So get it in place, roll the window up, and we're good to go. Just makes it take longer to try and line up along the top. Your thoughts on tint gel? It's been extremely effective. I'm overusing it. This, I'd say, is a situation where I just don't need to use it. clean seals, tape on the edges, and then I sprayed gel. That's one reason I think everything was sliding more than it should have been. But I'm overusing it just to play around with it more and more. I think it's just going to be a normal thing that everybody uses from now on. This thing's still doing good. How's it doing so good? It just keeps tracking me. You only spray the edges with the gel? Mostly. I've tried a few different ways. I'm waiting for a door. I'm waiting for a door window that has a lot of tacking issues. Like just hydrophobic and all the water beads off. I want to spray that with gel and see how that goes. Yeah, we're just still getting little fingers. I'm gonna let this dry out. So that's why I've like picket fenced it. Just holding the seal back away from the fingers. I'm just gonna let this dry out. I started to shrink the bottom. So from that, I still have one finger that was popping up down here. It's $160 a good for every window nano ceramic except the front. I mean, it sounds like it's a too good to be true deal, which might be. It might be good. It's definitely inexpensive. If you have a friend, send them there first and see how it turns out. Okay, so quarter window, we have to do those. I'm gonna plotter cut those ones though. So I'm gonna hop over to the other side. Let's do that. Let's do this other side first. See how much of a pain in the butt this is to wheel over there. This would make it a pain in the butt. Been in business since 2015, so I think I should be good. I hope so. But I wouldn't know. It's hard to know from just a price. Just as far as tinting goes, it's definitely cheap. Started watching your videos in March to learn how to tint, and I watch to de-stress. I wish it would give me less stress.
It is nice to watch you when I'm not here. When I go live.
Like, wow, I'm glad I don't have to do that. Quarter window nightmare right there, 6 of them. I know it. Like we had a Durango recently, and it's bigger than this. And there was like 1, 2, 3 windows on each side. This one's like, oh, how many can we stuff in it? Somebody really likes windows. It's annoying. Really annoying. What scrub pads should I use? Let me try that one more time. Scratch-free ones. Scratch-free. Always don't go and buy the green ones. They will scratch the shit out of a window. But if you're gonna use any, just make sure they say scratch-free.
That's a bogey. I forgot that the front doors are the. Oh no, they're not the same shade. They're 15. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, they're 15.
I do have
Yes.
Windshield, that's 35. Keep that out.
What you doing here? There we go. Don't do that. Okay. So you guys have a new installation gel better than tint slip, so it's not a replacement. It very much comes from primarily the PPF world, but what we've found out is it works really well as a protective barrier. So you clean a window like normal, you can spritz the edges with a gel, and then coat the rest of the glass and the film with your slip solution like normal. So everything's basically the same, just you have the option now of using a gel on the sides. Works really well. See, if I force myself to actually keep things on hand, near me, not walk back and forth, I get it done quicker. Were you nervous the first time tinting? Oh yeah. I had a lot of training help initially though. But yeah, of course. I think I'm gonna not use it on this one. Just slip solution on this one. I used it on the other side. I had it slip sliding for too long. So we're gonna peel our window. It's actually gonna go on the inside. I know, crazy, right? Slide that in, line that up. And we're gonna tack it in place. See? See, now it's biting. This is the kind of slip that I like. There's just some windows that if I'm going to use the gel on them, I just have to cut back on the soap. Have you noticed that GeoShield comes with many defects on the film? No, I don't run into many defects on the film. I mean, we just pulled it out of the box and threw it on the car. You would see if we did. I don't think most of them, even cheap films, I don't think you'd have a lot of defects out of a box. You shouldn't. Definitely shouldn't. Oh, there it is. Tuck that in there. Tuck, 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 tuck. Perfect. A roll of GeoShield I bought had a big scratch. That's no good. Did you let them know? Did they take care of it? Because they're really good at that. What was your biggest learning curve? Yes, I got refunded. Nice. Got my windshield done. What's today? Tuesday. It's Friday. No, it's pretty normal. You always can push out some extra water so it dries faster. So it likely just has some pockets that have just piled up.
Did I get it backwards?
Yes. No, just kidding. You're good. Do you sand down the hard plastic cards? No, I buy good ones so you don't have to worry about them scratching.
Where do you get good tools like that?
I don't know. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Dang.
Yeah. Super toys.
Dang. Did you design the slimline tools on your website? I did, actually. I had to learn how to model. When should I take it back if it doesn't go away? Just communicate with them. Take some pictures, send it to them, ask what they recommend. If they did it, I wouldn't expect they would give you a hard time about inquiring. Generally, I tell people up to a week if there's something still there. I don't know. Every shop's going to be different on that kind of stuff, though. All right, we're going to try something on this one. See if I can get a good view with a phone on my chest. So there's a couple types of bubbles. There's like white specks that don't go away, and then there's just water pockets. So hopefully it's just that. They dry out, everybody's happy. Dang, I can't get this in here. I need a better stick once it's not so sharp. What's a good stick? I have a whole new roll of the old door panel guard. The best thing that you can do is wipe off the panels with alcohol, but that's why we made a new version, is they just don't stick on some door panels. There's not a lot of things that like door panels don't want things sticking to them. That makes them easy to clean. Maybe this will help. What causes the white spots and what's the best way to remove them? The white spots are dirt. The way to remove it is to do a better job the first time. You can't remove them. It's peel it off, cut a new piece, do it again. I need something in between this and something like this. I just don't know if I have something quite like that. I'm trying to shove, so this is a little thicker than I want. This is window spline. So what I want to do is shove this in there, and it's going to hold the gasket back. And I've done it. I'm just having a fun time trying to get it to tuck in here. I'll spend more time on just these little quarter windows, but they press pretty darn tight. So I'm just trying to take care of this ahead of time. But if I can get it started, it just keeps popping out. I've done this on Subarus, I've done this on a few other ones. Yeah, this is just kicking this back out. God, that's so annoying. What's your thoughts on static cling? It's not really tint. It's too thick, it's blurry. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get this in there. It just keeps pushing it back out. Foreshadowing with a film. That's gonna be fun. Oh well. I guess we're just gonna see how this goes. I waste so much time trying to save time. But I really just need something to pry this back a little bit. I can put cards in here and let them sit for a little while. I'd rather spend a little bit of extra time trying to get that in there, but if it's just not gonna stay, it's not gonna stay. Do you guys cut a 60-inch roll into 24 and 36 if I put it in the notes? No, just get a 36 and 24. It's gonna cost the same. There's no pricing difference on ordering at 60 or so. Just get the sizes that you need. front corner is gonna be a bitch. Come on. We getting it? Should be pretty close. How long have you been in business? I've been here since 2020. I've been tinting since 2008. Do you only do tint? Pretty much. As far as actual skills go, dabbled in PPF, very little vinyl, but I spend all my time tinting and then trying to do stuff like this. See? Now I'm over here. I'm gonna go buy another tool, the sharper one. I need an easy reach. Ooh, the blue one or the gray one? Let's use the gray one. Ooh, it's gonna be dicey up here. So I like these for this situation the most. I just didn't have one in my tool belt. They're sharp, and they're really nice, but they rough up easily, which is why, like, I used to use these all the time before tri-edges. So what I'm hoping is that we didn't fuck this up. But this will sneak behind that seal a lot better. See, that's really the difference there. This is really, the gray card is very sharp. But use them sparingly. Also didn't give me any fucking room for this. Yes. Yes. Oh, no wonder that thing didn't go in there. I'm having even a hard time getting a easy reach up there. That's not so easy. It's like keeps butting against it. It has pieces missing off of it. Dude, that's your sign to just get a new card. We're gonna put this aside, wipe it off, check it over, and then cry because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are easy. These ones are still fine. Shouldn't be as bad. These ones, fuck you. We're doing 15 on the front, and then 35 over the rear, and then one more on the windshield, 35 on the windshield. See, that looks fantastic. Look at this, all the way up to that corner. I don't see any freaking dirt in there. That turned out beautiful. Got a little air at the bottom we gotta push out. I'll take it. Beautiful. Cool. All right, well, we won on that one. Lost on time. So let's go do that other quarter, and then we'll do the rest of it. And then we'll do the windshield. That's so fun. This is working so... This never tracks me this well. There must have been some type of an update, because this is wild. I'm not used to this being this good. On GeoShield's site specifically, yes, you need to sign up in their dealer program, I think which is just an email. But you can get it from us too. Oh yeah, that's nice. Picket fence. So if you have a finger that pops up at the bottom, so let's say I have a finger in this area. I want to try and keep the gasket from pushing against the glass because it holds water. So if you can just hold it back, I call that the picket fence. Is there any way to prevent dirt outside? It's a lot harder to control. You want to get as inside as you can. So sometimes that means like up against the side of a building, waiting for the wind to cut down before you peel it. I haven't tinted outside hardly at all. It just makes things infinitely more difficult. So you can do mobile without necessarily having to tint outdoors, but it's like trying to, like, how do I paint a car outside? I mean, you technically could, but tinting's a little bit more doable than that, but you're fighting against a lot of stuff. Wow. Yeah, this one's just different. It's goofy. It's like sharp on the edge. It's not just like a gasket that's pushing against it. It's like actually sharp and hard to get tools beyond it at all. Oh, this way. There we go. Best glue removal product? Probably ATR. January classes. We don't have anything scheduled yet. It's a little too far out. We likely will do one. We just don't have it on the calendar. It's like, where will we be in January? Probably here. Do we know for sure? No. Hate Rav4s? I'm with you. I am not having a good time. but I'm right-handed. So hopefully this side goes a little bit easier. Ooh, that's nice. Start over. Oh, no, fuck you. Why did it do that? See what I mean? They don't give you a fucking angle. Motherfucker. Give me my other one. Round 2. The very edge of that, grabbed it and just ripped it back. Come on, man. I don't need that right now. FED plotted one wrong. Yeah. They like to do. I was never really a fan of that software. Tried it for a little while. Not looking back. Software needs to be good at one thing, and that's cutting patterns. If the patterns don't work, I just wasted my time. Get so butt frustrated at some softwares. I got nothing bad to say about these ones though. This is just a hard window. Pulling the glass on this one, I could see that. It's still very possible without pulling it. It's just frustrating. Sometimes you have to take 2 or 3 patterns. If you get a few extra chances, it generally will work itself out. I think it's statistically impossible to keep not getting it. So one of these is gonna work. This edge though, dude, that's weird. I don't really know how to describe what I'm running against. We got it, but anytime I'm trying to put a tool up, it's like the rubber stops it right here, and then it's just as hard for me to get back here as it is on this edge, which that usually is not the case. But I'm gonna give you guys a nice close-up of this. So this one, when you push against it, there's this little like, see, and then it sneaks into the seal. That's what's happening anywhere around this window. Usually it's just this edge that pushes really tight, and the rest of it will kind of press, but it's not gonna keep a tool from shoving in there. I don't know why it's doing it on this one, but that was not fun. But props to the patterns on this one. And look at that. The gel, like even all the way, I got no speckles up there. I just got like a little bit of solution to push out here. How do you get a card up here? I don't know. This is where I fuck it up. See, there's that gel. All the way up there. Yeah, that's exactly right. You charge for the port windows and you throw in the roll downs. That's absolutely right. And I hate that about this car. Oh my God, that's so fucking clean though. Look at that. That's so freaking clean. Wow. Actually, wow. This is what we use. So, one extra super frustrating thing about Geo that I'll comment on all the time is it's very tacky on certain cars. So, in a quarter window like that, sometimes it just doesn't give you the slide that you need. It just like you put it on the glass, slide it around a bit, and then it freezes almost immediately. But at least I was able to keep moving it around, and it kept all the dirt out. That was super cool. I mean, it's also brand new, so that helps. But they're so frustrating. Those damn quarter windows. It's so easy, like driver walks up to these windows all the time. If there's like a light gap, if there's imperfections, like it's so easy to see them on those windows. See, and then I'm gonna grab this, and then I'm gonna grab this. It's all coming together. What type of car do you charge for the port? Oh, no, yeah, that one. Bigger side quarters easier? Typically, yeah. Bigger side quarters are typically way easier. But there's a certain style. And this car has both the easy ones and the annoying ones. So these ones are dead simple because you have a nice open border around the entire window. Easy peasy. This is a gasket style quarter window, and this likes to seal and pressure fit the entire edge. So now you have to try and tuck film into an area that is pushing back against you. So it can hold lots of little dirt specks. Your patterns have to be pretty spot on. Like, it's just a pain in the butt. They're not fun. Some of them are easier than others, though. When the film pulls like that, is that an indicator that you shrunk enough? Yes, but I'm looking here. I don't have fingers at the bottom here. That's really what I'm looking for. That little pull shows me that it's gonna lay tight against the window, but if I squeegee it out, do I get a finger there or not? The car shut off. I need a better sign for this. Where do I buy tools? There. You can buy them there. That's working really well. All right, we're gonna roll this down. Grab our sprayer. They took my door cards off to do my tints. Is that normal? Nowadays, it's very normal. A lot of shops will do that. It's not the way I like to do most of them, but it is very normal. And I don't know. I can't speak for every individual shop, but it should be a painless and everything goes back together the way that it came apart type of situation. I hope that's what your experience was. Tried to tint my car myself, got the side windows fine, never could get the back glass right. Back window is definitely tough. Detailing? I got tint taking up enough of my time. I detailed before I tinted. I'm not going back. Detailing is a lot of labor. I just got my tint done. There's a little bubble in the corner. It won't come out. It's got to be redone. Window tint is a big translucent sheet of adhesive. Anything that gets trapped in there will show. You're never going to get a perfect job, so I mean, that doesn't sound bad, but also the size of it can really bug people. So, I mean, it's worth bringing it back to who did it and see what they want to do about it because it bothers you. I don't like when stuff bothers my customers. Like if you get something tinted here and it's small, but I like to get it out. Yeah, unfortunately when you see something, you never unsee it. But the only way to fix it is to redo it. I'll call him right now. I pissed off some tinter. One of you guys might be getting a phone call. That'd be amazing. Like, shit, man, that was my customer. We have Instagel. And so I taped the front seals, and then the back ones, I did not because it was added. And I had patterns here. So they're very clean. I sprayed some gel there to help keep them extra clean. And we'll see how it goes. Yeah, this stuff. When I was mobile for a long time, I had a cart that I would bring around. And I never had any other surfaces that I could just put tools. So now that I have a shop, I tend to just use every surface as a trash pile. And with this, I'm trying to actually force myself to put things back. But I have to constantly remind myself. Tables are not trash piles. All right, so we got that roll down. And we're gonna do this one. We are here. Clean it. Easy reach. All right, so let's tuck this down, and then that'll give everything flat, and then we can bring it back up. And as long as our cuts line up, this one should be easy breezy. A little bit easier than the other one. My friend borrowed my Jeep, but when he brought it back, the window tint all bubbled up. Can it be fixed? No, it's got to be redone. It may have been like that. Like there is, so bubble tint is either dirt or failed adhesive. I couldn't tell you a single chemical that I could just spray on tint and have it bubble. So if you borrowed it for like a year, and it was cheap tint, I could see that. But I don't know if he caused anything. How long can tint last realistically? It's tough to say because a really good film shouldn't have long-term issues. So like, I don't know, 5, 10 years from now, a lot of them are all sold with lifetime warranties, and if the terms do not specify any length of time in that lifetime warranty, well then you don't really have to worry about it. But tints will just last for a long, long, long time if they're good. A week, and it was factory tint. So I think you're confused. Factory tint is exactly what we're tinting over right now. So this is aftermarket, and then this is factory. Factory is just the colored glass. And there's nothing that you can do to remove or change it. So there would have had to be aftermarket tint there. And again, I don't know what, nobody's gonna be able to wreck tint over a weekend unless it's like from actually scratching the shit out of it. I just got my first perfect install after 2 weeks of practice. Nice. Congrats. Don't look at it too close. air bubble, I swear, at the top edge. There it is. No, that's awesome. 2 weeks is not a lot of time. Keep at it, man. That's cool. Thank you for the confetti. What's the difference between ceramic and the regular? The only real difference is the performance. So ceramic blocks additional heat. It's literally a layer that they'll add to the film that'll help filter, absorb, block heat. So regular films will let that heat just pass right through. But a good regular film is completely fine. It was cold today. I wasn't thinking about heat rejection. Sweet. We got one side done. My windshield has a layer of clear film on the inside. I had no idea until I gouged it with a giant skull ring I was wearing. I was wiping it, and it scratched. Oh. Oh, wiping the fog. I get you now. I thought you were saying like dog hair or something. Okay, so we did that door. Now we can do this one. I really like having a portable heat gun. Like, this is nice. The sprayer cord, I'm a little less enthusiastic about. Like, I don't need this much, but I uncoiled it all because of the windshield, so. I should just discipline myself, leave it coiled up for this part. Let's put this back up here. Perfect tint jobs are impossible. I think 2 or 3 are acceptable. Yeah, and a lot of people aren't gonna ever notice. Like, your car is gonna have imperfections in the paint that you never saw until you get really close and start inspecting it. Your average customer has no idea what you're talking about until they see something, and then they get it, and then they don't unsee it. Your job is to try and make it look good enough so they never noticed the imperfections in the first place. So we try and make them as absolutely perfect as we can. But there's generally gonna be something. It should just be difficult to find. Okay, I'm gonna uncoil one more. There we go. See, I like this. Keep all that stuff on hand. These are things that keep running back and forth and grabbing, misplacing. I like the heat gun on hand. Like the cart here, it's nice. See, I already took my seal guard and I put that somewhere else, I don't know. I got my razor blades. This is good. This is working really well. I didn't think this would work this well. I've had these for a while, I just don't use them very much. Not even using it much on this stream. Is it safe to use a heat gun that close to the gasket? Yes, if you keep it moving. So it's speed and distance. So I can keep it like really close to my hand and move it really, really fast. And then if I slow down, it's just knowing where those sweet spots are. So you never want to point it at any one spot for very long. You're always keeping your heat moving. What do you recommend for cleaning tinted windows? Just a microfiber and a nice glass cleaner. Spray away is a really good one. It's inexpensive and it evaporates really fast. It works really well. Safe on window tint. You can find it anywhere. It's genuinely like a super good glass cleaner. Surprisingly, no like, oh, let me recommend you a $30 glass cleaner. No, you can find spray away pretty much anywhere. Spray away or spray away? I think it's spray away. I used to say spray away. You know what I really appreciate about this pattern? See that corner? Look at that. You see how the glass rounds? Like it doesn't just like go into the seal farther. It actually rounds right there. And that's how close that they got this pattern. I appreciate that a lot. You're a gentleman and a master of your craft. Thank you. How much should it be paying for 5%? I don't know. There's somebody around every corner for $100. You just gotta look on Marketplace. How do you deal with a mirror that doesn't have it doesn't have a dot matrix border that connects to the edges? You just cut the hole out. They're really easy. So I'm gonna get my whole pattern cut, shrunk, sized. But let's say this was one of them. Let's say I got a cutout outside that I could show, but let's say I just had a mirror circle right here, and then it's not connected to anything. I'm gonna just do everything like normal, trim this, remove my mirror, and then just go straight over that. So you hole punch your tint, but it's all covered. All right, so I had an easier time doing this one on the other side. Let's hope that stays true for this one. Or what? Did you get these? Why am I confused? I just pulled it off like this. So then why would it go on like that? Well, that's annoying. Did you cut these out once or twice? These ones.
Once.
Okay.
What's wrong?
The other side was right. This side is.
No, yeah, they were on the same piece. Like everything was at the same time.
I'm gonna cut another one.
It's 15 in there.
15 in here. I think I got the same one twice. But I have to now I have to go back and look at the footage. I could be crazy though, that's normal. All right, let's grab these. So we're gonna delete this one, we're gonna duplicate this one, and we're gonna pop it up here. And we're gonna do this. Then we'll get 2. How hard is it to tint the back window on a 12 Golf TDI? They're not the easiest. Golf back windows, there's just certain models that'll definitely give some tinters a very hard time. VWs already aren't super fun, but I don't know exactly what year that was. I've done like a really broad range of them, and I remember having some problems with some, but I never had one that was like, either I never got that specific one, or I just always was around somebody that we got it done. Okay, yep, it was me. Okay, I know what happened. It was a me issue. So this to me makes it look backwards. They round the front edge of it. And I just didn't double check. Patterns were good. Would you spray in the bottle? A a gel called Insta Gel. The gel, does it help with contamination? It definitely does. Definitely does. Did you say with your experience you know everything about cars? No. No, and I wouldn't trust anybody that said they knew absolutely everything about cars. There's always something to learn. If your car had a big issue, you'd be able to fix it? Yep, I definitely could. I'd take it to the dealer and go, car broke, here's money, please fix. I don't work on cars, I tint them. No like or sub for me right now. Oh, shit. I don't know what I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. I never understood why there's so many steps to this. There we go. Tuck that down there. I spoke too soon on this one. It was like, it should be easy like the other one, right? It should be. And then we somehow fucked it up. But we're getting there. How much should a full tint be so I'm not getting ripped off? It's very hard to speak on pricing because the prices that I'm gonna say for us, there's plenty of people in chat that are gonna tell you it's a ripoff. And then there's cheaper places, there's places more expensive than us. It just ranges. I don't think going in a lot of places cheaper than $250. And then sky's the limit beyond that. You're charging more for this car? So this one is all the sides, no back window, and the front and we're getting the front windshield for $470. Kind of like a reverse regular job. I think our AI underquoted it a little bit, but that's fine. It sold the job. It did it in the middle of the night, so I'm happy. There we go. This is working really well. Do you think it's no back windshield? No, surprisingly. It's probably the only one of the entire year that I've done. where we've done the sides and nothing on the back window. That's a fun sound. Just put you to sleep. The back window already tinted? Yeah, it's got factory. But there's gonna be a difference because we did 35 over the sides. And so the back window, it's still gonna look nice. It's just gonna look light from the interior. So right after this, we're gonna do the windshield. We have a program. So people fill out a lead form, people text us, they come across an ad, and fill out a form. And then so we have a system that like immediately messages them back. Like, hey, this is Detroit Tint Studio. We just got your quote about your Rav4. And they're like, yeah. And then it's like asking them questions about what they're interested in. Not just like, hey, here's the pricing, but it's like, we have a few different options to pick from. Are you looking for like our most economical option? Are you interested in blocking out more heat with the ceramic film? And they respond to no, I just want your cheapest shit possible. And then we'll give them a quote. And so just every lead that comes in off of ads, which can be any time, it gets back to them immediately. Yeah, it'd be good for a detailing service for sure. Really like any car business. Anything that you can kind of put in packages. With window tint, what makes it so complicated is just the sheer variety of cars. So, like, I mean, personally, I wouldn't charge any different. If they just called us and we talked to them about the Rav4, we just quote it like any other vehicle. But there's a lot of places that would charge differently because there's so many extra windows on it. I'm learning so I can set up the same business in the same area. Swing on in. Did you start as mobile? No. I started at a shop. Worked there for a number of years, and then joined a mobile company. And that had some pros and cons to it. Overall, it was good. Made good money doing it. Nothing's quite like having your own place, though. Would be a great name for a business that would be competitive. Insert city, and then window tinting. Then you're very searchable. Cool names are overrated. Like, they're cool, and everybody wants a cool name. That's why they're cool. But if you're just in a nice area, you can plant yourself there and, I don't know, just take on the city name. What do you think of AutoZone? I think it's overpriced. You just don't get very much film for your money, and it's not very good film. So it's kind of like the worst of everything. If you buy in bulk, it's not much more expensive to get a roll. I mean, it's more expensive than 20 bucks, but in general, you save far more on film by ordering a 50 or 100-foot roll of film. That's how everybody does it. So AutoZone's really like, it's a consumer thing. It's, I want to tint my car. I don't know where to get tint. I just want to go to the store, and then that's perfectly fine. But you're not doing a business off of it. It just doesn't make sense. It was that one first. You hardly washed your hands. I mean, I was washing dryer sheet off of my hands. After we used a lot of soapy water and stuff. It's okay. We're not like wrenching under the hood or anything like that. We keep our hands pretty clean here. Soapy water and light chemicals. Mostly soapy water. Good, that tucked in there really nice. I use a soap for tint called Tint Slip. We must have. You didn't find any seat covers, did you? You didn't find any seat covers, did you? No. I wonder if somebody drove off with one. I want to say we had 4. Oh, because there should be ones with the Detroit Tint Studio logo on them. Somewhere. These ones are the black ones. Okay, so let's see where this is at. That's doing a really good job. I'm actually really impressed with this little cart camera. I don't really use it, but look at that. Yeah, well, it's working. Crazy. Okay, let's get a roll of film. So this is 15. This one, 35. So we're doing that same 35. You're doing 35 on the windshield, right? Yeah. Sweet. Those covers are sick. Thank you. I appreciate it. They're really nice. And they're not super expensive. That's where you can find them, though. Windshield dry already? What's your opinion on tint gel and any good brands? I love it. It's been working great. This is what we're using right now. Instagel's been around for a long time for PPF, and it's safe for window film. I just didn't know how helpful it was till recently. Are you having any deals for Black Friday? You know what? I haven't thought about it much, but we 100% should do something for Black Friday. But I don't have anything particular in mind. Just probably stuff will be on sale for Black Friday. When is it this year? It's what, day after Thanksgiving, right? That's how that works? What door panel covers do you use? We use ones called Panel Guard. Wow, that was not a funny joke. Is Instagel safe? As far as I've seen so far. It's clear. It's largely water-based. Oops, this one. We should have a thumbnail. Yeah, we don't remove. Oh no, that was not it. Oh yeah, we don't need you here, bye. All right. We're gonna card that. Slice that off. Ceramic is really popular, and it's definitely talked about a lot. Which kind of perpetuates like more sales and stuff. Ceramic films are great. Ooh, let's see where the battery's at on this one. 82? Nice. That's not legal. You're not legal, pal. Let's plug this in. Pal. Okay, bud. Tinting a windshield is perfectly legal if you have a doctor's note in the state of Michigan, so we don't need to get into that argument right now, though. But you can look up state laws. Deleting dude's comment. Yeah, I don't like to highlight things too much. If there's like a situation, just certain people want attention. Just erase them. How long before you got the hang of it? See, that's tough to say. I had direct hands-on help in a shop or else I wouldn't be tinting today. I wasn't looking to get into tinting though. I went to aviation mechanics school. So I was just looking at other fields, and window tint just kept happening. I was looking into more technical roles because I like technical things, but I just didn't know what to go into. I was looking for like an actual category, and I just didn't know. And all the while, I was tinting. So I just kept doing that and building a business around doing that instead. Which I'm really glad that I went that route. But I had it easy in the beginning. Streaks under the film. It's a dryer sheet. We're gonna just scrub it off. It makes it smell fresh. 15 Chrysler 300 is pretty much straightforward. Yeah, the back windows are great. Short. They have the same Charger defroster issue. So they have really thick defroster lines. But it's on the actual window under the film. Yeah, right now. The film's not going to stay on the outside though. We're just shaping it. It goes on the inside. So we take a big sheet of film, we mold it to fit the glass, we trim it to size, and then it's ready to get installed on the inside. This is 35. It looks light because we have a white towel under it. This lighting makes everything look lighter. That's cool. Watch. I'm gonna push a button. Wow! That's nifty. You can't see it as well though. That's the only thing I don't like about the farther off camera. They're nice, but then like the detail stuff is like here. What would you say is the easiest brand of film to shrink? So this is one of the first films that I ever installed. So I don't know if I like tried it today, if I would still feel the same way, but it makes sense. Lumar ATC, I remember as being like the most shrinking friendly. I did things backwards too. I would trim it exact, and then I would shrink it. Where now I shrink everything and then I trim them. But I would have to get like a roll of ATC to really know. But a lot of brands are gonna have certain lines of film that are gonna be easier to shrink than others because the materials change. With Geo, they're very consistent across the whole board. Apex is probably a little bit slower. But an easy to shrink film doesn't mean the film is good or bad. It just means that that film is that way to shrink. Good shrinking films just are nice for the installer because that means I can install it faster. So a lot of companies have put obviously some effort into making films more easy for the installers because they want to sell more rolls. And a film that's just difficult is just not going to get reordered. But performance is really important, so Geo's really nice across the board, though. They're one of the best shrinking films I've ever used. We use them in our training classes too. What do you know? How do you know it's ready to squeegee after the heat gun? Ooh, you should have got that just a minute earlier. I can show you. So if we pull this back, we get all these ripples here. Let me try and lift a little bit more off the window. I'm looking for these ripples to start pulling sideways. If you shrink it to this point, this is telling you that you can just cart it forward. Or, watch, you pull it and see how that flattens out? That's exactly what we're doing with a card. A card is literally just a way of pulling the film flat across the window. It just helps organize your film so you know what to shrink next. Is Gila a crappy brand? It's just an automotive retail brand. It's not very notable. I didn't like it when I did some videos with it. It had a really strong color and felt weird. But it's owned by Eastman, who owns Lumar and who owns the software that I use. So, good company. Cheaper films are more difficult to shrink. No, not inherently. But a lot of people buy cheap carbon or cheap ceramic films. They've flooded the market. So what a new installer sees is they don't shop for cheap training film. They shop for what is the cheapest product that I can get my hands on. And a lot of times that's a film that sounds like what all the professionals are talking about. Those are generally more of a pain in the butt to work with. They just always have been. When carbons and ceramics were first released, they were rubbery, they were a pain in the butt to work with. And they have since gotten much better. They've gotten much clearer. But the cheap stuff still seems like they're not very user-friendly. They feel cheap. They don't shrink as well. But that's all something that a competent installer can deal with. So you can absolutely work through those hurdles and get good with it. Doesn't mean it's uninstallable. It just means that it's not easy. But no window film is dead easy. I tint my windows with it. Gila? I use 5%, easy to install, remove tint. I barely touched it with a bike handle. My son's bike scraped a big scratch. Yeah, tint's gonna be sensitive. So good films are gonna have a better scratch coat, but if you're taking something and scraping it against it, you can definitely put some damage in film. It's still just film. What do you think about High-Tech / Tint Depot? I like High-Tech, and that's without using their films. I'm not a fan of Tint Depot. Same films, worse branding. I don't want to spend good money on film and have bad branding. Tint Depot, if a customer asks me, hey, what film are you using? And I say Tint Depot, they're gonna question everything that I'm doing unless it's probably below a certain price point. Why does it sound like your film is coming from Home Depot? And I can try and explain it. But They are a global window film distributor. And they've had that Tint Depot brand for a long time. So I would just try and do high tech if you were gonna pick one. Tint Club or Reno? Ugh, neither. Probably Reno though. I'll say I haven't heard anything bad in a while. There were certain brands that would pop up pretty regularly. Like we have a very large Facebook group. Here, can I bring it up? I know it's Facebook and it's gonna kill my stream. So let's go here. We have a very large Facebook group, 118,000 people talking about window film. You can ask about any film brand that you want and see lots of discussions like like this one, right? Nosy customer. And I would see certain brands being talked about very negatively. And so I just would never give those brands a time of day because, you know, if there's a bunch of people that are saying something bad about a brand, then there's probably a lot of truth to that, right? So I like to use the group kind of as a gauge on good brands, bad brands. So Tint Club is actually going to get a lot more positive traction than Reno would, though. But that's because it's less expensive. Tinters love less expensive brands. All right. Sprayer. We ceramic tint the inside, always the inside. What you see happen on the outside is just all the prep that goes into a nice clean job. So we have to get a piece of film in the right shape, and we have to mold it to fit the curve of the glass. So we do all that on the outside because it would be impossible to do on your interior. And then once we do that, the inside gets cleaned, which is what we're doing now. Then it's going to get installed. Remove old tint, best efficient way. Look up a video on that one. But it's gonna be something with a steamer, and there's nothing that is gonna make it dead simple. An annoying to remove bubbly back window is still gonna be a pain in the butt. But look it up. There's a few methods that you can try, and there's a ton of videos on the subject. How do you feel about Expel? I got a lot of thoughts. But overall, they're definitely a top tier film brand. They have good products. Not better, but very good. They're just experts at marketing. I mean, they dump a lot of money into marketing. But they've grown from it. They've grown really good businesses for dealers, grown a really good dealer network, done some really smart things. So it's not just throwing money at looking pretty. They're doing big things, for sure. Some of them are good for dealers and some of them are bad for dealers. Ceramic Pro? Ceramic Pro is kind of in that same light. But XPEL's more notable in window film. I'm surprised Ceramic Pro didn't become that type of brand. They're still, don't get me wrong, they still have a very good brand. But they're just not very talked about in the window film space. I thought you were gonna see like XPEL and Ceramic Pro go toe to toe. Yeah, I've done a little PPF. I don't do it much. I don't do it much. My shop does Suntech, pretty decent stuff. Yeah, Suntech's cool. Suntech's owned by Eastman. They're like a sister company to Lumar. My blade keeps coming out of my Slim Slam. Yeah, we've definitely had some issues with it. For the time being, you can pull the squeegee out, heat the end up, and you can bend it tighter. And just run it under cold water. I'll kind of bring it back to where it was. It's not a fix, it's a Band-Aid though. What do you do about water stains? I don't get water stains. Yeah, like on the headliner and stuff? Yeah. Don't soak down the headliner. Yeah, you'd have to clean it some way. But yeah, I'm not. So I get spray up here, I am not soaking down a headliner. Tape it off if you're getting them really wet. But a lot of it's soapy water. So if the headliner is especially dirty, then it'll flood the headliner and push that water and not stain, but cause that water to like build up in little like wave patterns. So it'll make it look like it's stained. So anything that you're soaking down that has a potential of staining like that, you're doing something wrong, or you just need to cover it up so that doesn't happen. All the sides and the front windshield cost was $470 on this one. I've seen so many people fry rams by not using a rope. Yeah, any water-prone vehicle, Rams 300s, Chargers. I mean, I use a towel and I tuck it all the way in. At the very least, make sure something is tucked in. All right, so we're gonna peel this back. Rinse under here. So as somebody asked earlier, there's all those streaks under the film. We just shrunk over a dryer sheet. So we're still gonna clean off the outside of the windshield, but we're gonna worry about installing it first. We cleaned off the inside, that's all ready to go. Decrease contamination. A lot of it is your install. Just practice. There's nothing I can say really that's just going to, no, not even increase, increase cleaning. Yeah, right. If I decrease contamination, increase cleaning. This is what's really frustrating about Tint though, is because it's like, I have dirty window, I must clean better. And it's like, no, not necessarily. You can haphazardly clean off a window and get a pretty good result. A lot of it is just from how good you are at installing. It's all your little subtle movements that suck dirt back in. It's a good plotter to start. The workhorse machines are pretty good. Or look on Marketplace. Marketplace genuinely has some really good. I wouldn't buy film off of Marketplace really. I wouldn't buy a lot of things off of Marketplace really, but Marketplace has some gems. Plotters are, you can get a really good deal off of a plotter. I started tinting home windows and storm doors. What a pain in the ass to keep clean. Dude, I know it. Holy shit. Apparently, a lot of people's level of clean when it comes to architectural is just way lower. So like cars, they somehow have to be perfect. On houses, though, a couple things. You can get a clear gel glue. This is the messier way of trying to get a better result. But you clean the window like normal. And then you just put a nice little bead of like clear glue around the edge. And it holds a lot of that trash out of the window. See, this is why I was close. But I was thinking flat glass. I should have been thinking automotive with gels. But people are also using like PPF gels and have been for a long time with doing flat glass. So we took a bottle of Insta-Gel and we spritzed. So there's a very thick layer along the edges. And what that does is prevent shit from running back in. So when you clean it, that holds stuff from just running back into your window. And we'll see how this one worked out in just a minute. Making sure I get my pattern all squared off. So for flat glass, the adhesives are really light. Trash can just feed right back into your window very easily. Try and put something on the edges so the dirt doesn't just feed back in, and you should have a better time. But flat glass is really cool. Yep, we have Insta-Gel. There's been a lot of discussions. That's what we have. If you get basically any, like the important tint, important sauce. I don't know, 3M, Expel Gel. I'm sure they all work with varying degrees of, like some might be a little better than others, but I've been having good times with this one. Let's see about a close-up here. So this, see, this is just thicker. It's not runny. I'm gonna squeegee out the dots at the end. But anywhere up towards these edges, pushing gel out. So an even thicker gel is probably gonna do an even better job of handling some speckles on the edges, because what it's gonna do is build up and prevent dirt from sticking to the adhesive, and it's gonna push it out. So as you're squeegeeing up, it grabs the dirt and shoves it out. This sweep is so good, so simple yet so good. I appreciate that. It really helped with the situation over the summertime. We were just getting some spots that were freezing up early. So having a way of evenly distributing all the water was really nice. Do you dilute the PPF gel? Instagel is already, you can dilute it a little bit, but it's already a thinner PPF gel. So if you have a really thick one, I'd say you probably could dilute it a little bit. This stuff, put maybe like 30% water in it, and it still seemed fine. But anytime I've tried it recently, I just haven't felt like diluting it. I just spray it straight. But I was really confused, like a lot of people, when some people were first started talking about using a gel. I was like, why would you, ew, that's gonna get messy. But honestly, you just use it really sparingly around the window. And I don't know, I'm never going back to not using it. Does the Expel one work? It should work perfectly fine. I don't have a gallon, so I haven't tried it. But there have been people in our group that have said it works great. And same thing with like 3M's gel. Basically, like any installation, or I can't say any, because I don't know, but the majority of installation gels for PPF, like they're really something that just helps PPF slide a little bit better and tack down when you need it to. But they're thick, so they just don't dry out as fast. So you use that same type of principle for window tint. We're just so used to like spraying soapy water in anything, we just never really understood or felt like spraying something that could maybe like, ew, that's gonna be gunky on the interior, right? That's what it sounds like first. But I sprayed it all over the edge. I'm cleaning this one up now. And I don't have any type of, like this would be a little bit of gel right here. But it's not like glue. I can just take a towel and wipe it clean like I normally would. So I like this stuff a lot. I didn't add anything to my installation. Like it didn't make my installation 100 times more complicated. It's just something I spray on the edges. I haven't noticed any sticking problems, but you know, we're still learning stuff as we use these things. So keep an eye out, but it's a pretty safe bet that it does a good job and it shouldn't harm anything that you're doing. What gel? This one. Just for installs, nothing else. So I don't spray it on the film. I mean, you could, but you don't need to. You still use your slip solution. So everything is basically the same. The way to look at it is like how I use tape on door windows. We don't get all this gel. There is, I know for Instagel, there's a Canadian distributor. I'm trying to remember the name of them offhand, but it's already there. It's a product that's been out for a while at this point. It's been used, it's been really popular in PPF. Honeycomb pattern in my film. Oof, actually not sure. Oh, this is my bottle of alcohol. Okay, that's where I put it. I feel like a mod on TikTok. It never ends. For cleaning, I haven't noticed anything bad with it. Been tinting 30 years and I still use baby powder for molding. I mean, if you're used to it, I never could get used to that stuff though. But one of the guys that helped teach me early on, he was all about baby powder. Respect. Where do you get the dash towel? This was a GeoShield one. I actually got this directly from them. That reminds me every time that we need to actually do something about getting dash towels. First time seeing alcohol for cleaning. If I have a bottle of it laying around and it's the most convenient thing, I'll grab it. The only thing that I've noticed is a glass cleaner will help the rag slide a little bit better, but alcohol evaporates super fast. So yeah, water and alcohol, super nice. Glass cleaners, certain glass, I don't think Sprayway does. But invisible glass, I'm almost positive, has alcohol in it. A lot of those chemicals are fairly simple. Like the majority is. Like a lot of these chemicals are really, really simple. Invisible glass does. I knew it, I could smell it. But yeah, out of all the things that I've used to clean windows, you can use so many things. One part is just degreasing it. So doing something, spraying it, and wiping off, like for tint, anything that can leave, like your soaps, especially a baby shampoo, will leave a lot of greasiness behind, a lot of fats. So you get that stuff kind of mostly cleaned off, you flip it over to another side, and then you either use like a dry side or the same type of thing. And as long as it evaporates really fast, it generally cleans up super well. So glass cleaners and diluted alcohol. See, look at that. And it's dry. It's already dry. Just works nice. Okay, so this side's good. We're gonna touch it up with a heat gun. Who remembers Daniel Reyna? He still pops in. I think it's been a minute, but he pops in. Sound like Chris Fix. No, I'm not as cool as Chris Fix. Missed a spot. I probably missed a couple. But I'm trying here. That counts, right? Okay, so we're gonna clean up if there's any pinches. That looks good. We're looking for fingers and pinches. Oh, we got that bigger finger right here. A lot of times if you don't panic with a finger, and you just give it some time, swipe at it at an angle, make sure you brush it all out past the seal. It'll fix up pretty well. Have you tinted any tractors? No. No, I have not. And I'm kind of glad that I have not. It's just not something I'm looking to add to my belt. I've had some semi-trucks. That was from the plotter. That freaked me out. But I've done some semi stuff, utility trucks, party bus. I haven't done that many like super unique projects. It's mostly been like a wide range of cars. All good. Okay, this is one of the prettiest little, only tinters will appreciate how clean this one turned out. What films have you used? Started with Lumar. We mostly used AT and then ATC. What did we switch to? Used Flex Film for a little while. back then. Used a little GeoShield back then. We'd get lots of samples, so I've played around with like SunTech, Solar Guard. Installed Avery for a while. Installed Scorpion for a little while. Installed.
Your thoughts on ASWF?
Oh, ASWF. Oh boy. What's your take on Lumar? Lumar's expensive, and I don't think you really get the value out of Lumar unless you're leveraging Lumar for bigger sales. Like, that's why I like Geo. I'm not getting a worse film by using them. They're just not as known. So what I save is on film. I find that to be a little bit better than, you know, charging the same and then paying twice as much for film. Shit, this was 2000 and, let's say 2009, 2010. We were getting decent rates on Lumar, but a roll at ATC, which is like one of their lowest films, if not their lowest. I think it's their lowest, like color stable dyed film. I remember a roll of it being like a 36-inch roll, probably being like $350. I like ATR better than ATC. We didn't end up ever doing ATR very much. We were mostly just selling tint jobs, so we were ATC. But yeah, ATR, like, metallized a little better. It does not make sense unless you were like getting an actual better product. Good company, good films, they charge for them. So ATR is better entry-level film than ATC. Well, it's a better, it shouldn't be a cheaper film, right? So ATC is gonna be a color stable dyed film. ATR should be a dyed metallized hybrid film, right? It's a sputtered. So it should be a better entry-level film. I don't know about workability though, because I never installed ATR. I just saw it a few times. Had a little reflectiveness to it. ATR, oh no, that one. Why did you leave Avery? Avery was just kind of a dog across the board. They had a good price point and a good entry-level film, but they didn't have good upgrades from there. At least not at the time. C2 ceramic 35, that's gonna be this one. Avery is close to Matico. Matico is one of those brands I don't know a lot about. They're a manufacturer, I think, in Florida. But Avery is its own, they're a film manufacturer so Avery bought Haneda Tech, which is a manufacturer in Haneda, Israel. So I think their flat glass films was the big draw, and then they had obviously bought everything, so why not keep selling automotive? But we were using them when they were Avery, and then they got bought. Or sorry, we were using them when they were Haneda, and then they got bought. And things just were shitty for a while. But if you looked at like anybody's lineup, their carbon was cloudy, their ceramic was cloudy, it didn't perform as well. So they just like, they're manufactured, but they just weren't that good at automotive. So when I opened up this place, I was looking to have like a nice uniform. Oh, I know where it is. It's on the back. It's on the back. Slim Slam. I should have known that. Here, let's get that little pocket out. This one right here. Oh, there it goes. Window Tint 313. Yeah, it's my group. I made that years ago. Because people were being shitty on a popular forum site called Tint, and then Facebook groups started to become popular, and it was the same fucking thing. I didn't care about having a Facebook group, but there were certain people that had a big head, and it was so stupid. Here's two funny words that I never thought would exist. Tint drama. Stupid. I hate drama, let alone tint drama. But boy, is there ever tint drama. Can I roll the windows down? I could, but I just tinted it, so I don't want to. But it'd be okay if we did. I was trying to figure out what the tint group was called. It was just called Window Tint Stuff. Because the channel was Tint Stuff for a long time, and then I changed it to Studio. You're beefing through squeegees harder? Yeah, something like that. No, there's a Facebook group, and there are certain people that thought that they could own the industry, whatever that means. So they basically started, like, you could manually add people to a group, and then they would kick a bunch of companies out of that group, and then they would turn around and try and charge them for advertising. And say, like, if you want to rejoin and advertise to all these people that we have in our group now, this is how much you have to pay for the year. And you know what? It actually worked. Is a mustache going to make a comeback to the logo? No, probably never. That was fun, though. That was one of my favorite videos that I ever did. Just drive up, roll up the window, you got a mustache there. It was pretty good. Average size squeegee appearance. My squeegee's bigger than your squeegee. I've always been joined in the most popular tint group pages. Yeah, they're all helpful. They're all like good. It's just, dude, I see all the stuff that's going on with different countries, and you like wonder, like, how are all these people arguing? Like, can't they just get along? And then I saw like leaders of window tint groups, and I'm like, holy shit, how is this world not blown up? All right, I gotta go. This one's all set. So 15 on the front, we did 35 over the rear, and then this is 35 on the shield. She's pretty. Y'all have a good one. Bye.